Hey, welcome to Fiber Lakes Garage, the home of random projects. We have lists, we have Jeeps, we have trucks, we have food. You name it, we got it. So help out the channel by just hitting that subscribe button. And if you like the video, go ahead and like it. And if you really like the video, like it and then tell a friend. But stay tuned, enjoy yourself. I'm gonna let you go because I got stuff to do. Hey, welcome back to the channel. And if you caught some of the other videos, you saw when we made these rock sliders out of some DOM tubing. It's about 1 3/4. And we basically just made the two basic slides. Now we just need to be able to attach them. And that's what this video is going to be about today. We're actually going to attach it to the frame. I still got to get a couple of odds and ends, but I will not publish this one until they're on the truck. Wanted to do it on last video, but it was just not in the cards. Couldn't do it. And not only that, truck looks a little bit different, huh? Yeah, the FedEx finally delivered my leaf spring, so I was actually able to lift it. So now it is about 3.5 inches taller, which is great and bad. Great because I can actually work underneath it without having to jack it up so much. Bad because now I have to use stools underneath the jack stands to be able to hold these sliders up. So we're going to go through all of the details on actually installing these guys here. So I did go ahead and paint it black, sanded it all down, wire brush, all that good stuff, painted it black, and now she's ready to be put in. If you look on the side of the truck, I already got one put in, sort of. All right, so as you can see, I do have it mocked up and it is in its final stage. Now I looked over here and I'm just clearing the pinch weld on that side. I'm just on the outside of the pinch weld underneath, but I want to be able to have it out far enough to where if I hit a tree, it's not going to ding up the side of my truck. Now I actually might bring it out just a little bit more, but I don't want to have it too far because then it kind of sticks out and kind of looks kind of funny. But right now it's actually in a good spot. So what we're going to actually do, oh, and also mock it up, open up your doors, all of them. Make sure it doesn't hit, because if it interferes, you won't be able to get out. You won't be able to get in. Unless you're going to Dukes the Hazzard it and actually go through the window. All right, so you can take a closer look at this. Now I do have it kicked up just a little bit. You can have them flat, you can have them kicked up, whatever floats your boat. I'm just going to kick it up just a little bit. And later on, what I might do is actually build like a small step underneath that I can actually take off when I go wheeling. But let's go look at some of the materials and what we're going to use to be able to attach it to the frame. All right, so this is kind of the stuff that we're going to use to actually attach it to the truck. Now, as far as the kickers, I still got some more pipe left, or tubing. This is still the same 1 3/4, same stuff I made the other stuff with. We're going to be putting some straight kickers out to the frame, and then we're going to gusset those in to make sure that they're nice and strong. Especially on the backside where the leaf spring is the mount is kind of in the wrong spot for these type of sliders. So we're going to put in a support all the way in the back, and then that should be good enough. I also have, all right, so I have what was left of the trailer project, and this is basically a 3/16 steel, and this is what's left over. So we're just going to cut these down. And then I'm going to put it on the vise, and I might have to heat it to be able to bend it, but I want to bend it to actually go underneath the actual frame itself. And then I'm going to go with some drill bits and drill the crap out of it. Once I got those things actually in place on the frame, then we can actually measure out the kickers to be able to get the distance that we want. And then we're going to shave them down to be able to make a nice, flush, beautiful weld on it. And then if you want to take them off, unbolt them, take it out. Now on this particular type of stuff, what I was going to do is actually have a outside, but I want to have something on the inside as well. Basically just sandwiching the frame together to be able to get a good I don't want it to flex. You know, you never know. I might come off some big ramp. We'll see. Anyway, but we're getting to use our new plasma cutter for this. Yeah. And if you're new to this channel, then I want to introduce you to my little happy cart. Now this cart right here actually does make me pretty happy. I do have a welder up here. It's only a 110, but it still does the job. Eventually, if Lincoln is actually listening to any of these, hey, I need a sponsor, man. Let's go. Come on, I need a big welder. But this one actually does pretty well. Now the new addition to my happy cart would be this guy right down here. This was my Christmas present from Santa, and it is a plasma cutter from Jegs. Now the price was pretty decent, one of those you know, end of the year really big super sale, and it is by far, it's done so much better than I thought it would. So anyway, so I have that. I got my cutoff wheels, I got my grinders, I got everything you need. Gloves, extra spool of wire, a full tank in the rear. Like I said, my happy cart. So anyway, so let's get up here and talk about what we want to do. All right, so I went underneath the truck and figured out all my measurements, and it's actually going to work out pretty good. I got enough material to be able to cover everything I really wanted to cover. So this is basically what I come up with. I have 8-inch kickers from the actual frame to the slider. Now I'm going to put some gussets up here about 2 inches high and about 4 inches long. We're going to make them into triangles. I'm just going to cut them into a right triangle and then actually grind them down to fit each one, because some of them might be up, might be down. I've been around some frames that not exactly straight. This one's fairly new. It should be straight, but we're going to find out. So you can manipulate that a little bit with the actual grinder. It shouldn't take much at all. Now the actual L bracket that we're going to build right here is about 6 inches long, because that's how long or how high the frame is. And then we're going to go 2 inches in, because that's how much frame we have underneath. It is a C channel. So we're going to do 2 inches there, 6 inches high. We're going to cut all this stuff out. All right, all my beautiful lines. And don't look at that one there. I kind of got off a little track there. Anyway, so I have all these actually set up where I think we should actually have them. Now I'm going to use 1/2-inch grade 8 bolts. I'm going to put 2 up here on top. We're going to spread them out. Now the gusset's going to be right here along the for the nose. You can think of it as a happy face. So anyway, we got eyes, we got the mouth. We're gonna have a gusset going up here, and then underneath we're gonna put 1 bolt underneath to be able to hold this thing down. Now with that crease right there, it's gonna make it really strong. Now I might have to use the torch or whatever, but we'll heat that up, bend it over, drill some holes, and then we should be in good shape. And then hopefully I can actually stack all these and do all the drills at the same time, so that they all look uniform. Now the section over here is actually all my gussets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're going to use 8 of them. We have 8. So if you look all the way down the line, there you go. So this is 6 inch by 4, 6 by 4, 6 by 4. This right here is the 2 inch. This is where I'm going to be bending it. Right where that line is where I'm going to be bending. So this is kind of what I came up with. I think it should be pretty good. It should hold up to what we want it to do. So let's get cutting. Where's my plasma? All right, it's a brand new day. I was gonna do it last night, but it was getting kind of late and I had some editing to do. And then got the blue screen of death last night. Oh man, I lost it all. But it's all right though. We're gonna keep going on. But anyway, I got my protective stuff on, got my jacket, got my gloves, got my specs. And what we're going to do is actually use our new toy, our plasma cutter, to actually cut out the brackets for the actual kickers. So if you look here, so I got my board all set up, I got all my lines. I'm using a level right here. I got to clamp down so that when I run my wand, it's a nice even cut. If you saw some of my practice stuff that it wasn't straight, no, not even a little bit. But I want to go ahead and make this one pretty straight, so I'm going to use the level here as my guide. It is clamped down to my welding table, which is clamped all the way to the end. So, without further ado, let's cut some steel. Well, that was a lot easier than using a cutoff wheel. Not too bad. I'm still learning how to use it. because it just did get it. I think I went a little bit too fast in some areas. It didn't blow all the way through. Maybe I'll up the air pressure and also the amperage. I didn't have it all the way up, but next time I know for that. So anyway, still got cut off all these little individual things, so that'll take a few minutes. So you can enjoy this time lapse of a bunch of sparks. All right, that thing is like the greatest Christmas gift ever. If you have a fabricator in your life, get them a plasma cutter. That I would be sitting here for hours throwing sparks everywhere if I had to do that with a cutoff wheel, and they wouldn't be as straight. Let me get this straight as that. I mean, it's not, you know, straight, but it's straight enough. I'm gonna go upstairs and actually get rid of some of the grime that's around that. You know, it's got a little bit of slag. It's not bad though. But it is a little bit thick, so I'm going to take it upstairs and clean all that up and get ready for bending them. Now we might have to throw some fire on that one as well, but we'll get it bent and see how it goes. All right, so I have everything already cut. It's been ground down. It is ready to be bent. Now I did do a couple of them just to see the best way of actually getting it done. This was the first one, and basically I just used brute strength, and it did okay. I got a couple dents in it, but that's okay. I'm going to be welding over it anyway, for the most part. Then, I decided, hey, let's use some heat. So I got the old acetylene torch out, and heated it up really good, and it did okay. I still had a bead on it, because it wasn't bending in the right spot. Maybe I should have heated it up from the other side, but it did okay. But then I ran into a problem. This bent a lot easier, but then I ran out of acetylene. So sad. And of course today is Sunday. Can't get any more. So what we're going to do is we're going to grab a BFH and we're going to make this happen. Now it will create dents in your product, but you can grind those out. They're going to be so superficial anyway. That is going to be underneath. Paint it black. You can't see it. It's kind of like, you know, slimming down. When I wear black, I look trim. If I wear anything else, no, not really. Anyway, I have my line drawn. I'm just going to beat this thing down and do the same thing to all the other ones. I'm going to try to place my beading down into the areas that I will be welding a tube against, so it should be okay hidden or so. I still got to grind them down anyway. They're pretty thick. It'll be all right. So let's go. Let's get to beating. It's not too awful bad. I got a couple marks up here, I got a couple marks down here. I can grind that out smooth and it'll come out just fine. And I didn't have to waste money on gas, even though I still gotta get gas. All right, I got a lot more to go. All right, I got them all 8 beat down. They actually came out pretty darn good. Like I said, I got a couple little creases there, but it's all right. Now, if I scroll all the way down to the one that I heated up, this one, I like the bend better on the other one without heating it up. So, woo, that's still warm. So anyway, I'm gonna grind all these down, get them ready to start putting them on the truck. I do need to drill holes all the way through, so I'll do that. To be honest with you, I probably should have done it before I bent it. Oh well, amateur mistake. Anyway, I gotta run to town and get the truck lined up. So, see you in a little bit. All right, all the brackets have been cut. I actually drilled all the holes already, and now I'm just trying to find the right spot on the bottom of the truck. Now I'm on the passenger side here, and this is pretty much what I came up with. I can put one here. I was going to put it here, but that's going to be a lot to drill through because it's got, you have the bracket underneath. You got this one, this double brace, look like a, actually this is where the 2 frames come together. And they got a wish plate and all that stuff. I still got to drill through some of it, but now I can stick my hand in from underneath. Now, when you're actually trying to find places to actually put these, you have to watch out for fuel lines, brake lines, electrical lines, everything, because you got to drill holes to this stuff. You don't have to, but we're going to drill some holes. Now, I narrowed it down to only having 3 holes per. So I got 2 on the top and I got 1 on the bottom. And then that should be adequate. So what I'm going to do now is actually drill all of these holes and then bolt these down. Then I should be able to weld the kickers on there, so that we can actually find out, you know, tack it in there, and then we can pull it out and actually weld it all the way around. Now they are about 8 inches per kicker. Still don't think I got enough tube, but we're gonna figure it out. Anyway, so let's do some marking and do some drilling. Yeah. All right, it's a brand new day. I am back into the shop. Kids are at school. It is fantastic because the whole house is nice and quiet. Love the kids, but man, they can be noisy sometimes. So anyway, North Carolina weather. Yesterday it was 70s, kind of hot, a little bit warm because I'm not used to it. Today, within about 30 minutes, it dropped like 30 degrees. Now it's like in the 40s and rainy and all that good stuff, but it's okay. We got jackets. We're gonna get this thing done hopefully today, at least this one side. The other side's gonna take me a little bit more time, but I want to show you exactly how everything gets done start to finish so I can finish up this video. It's killing me here. Anyway, I did make a kicker. Went ahead and notched it with the notcher. Went ahead and made an angle on this side because where I put my slider is a little bit higher than where I'm gonna mount it. So hopefully when the rock hits it, it will slide out. If you have it down like here, it might get caught, and it works, but I like this one better. But anyway, what else did I do since last time I spoke with you? I have drilled all of the brackets. I've actually drilled the frame and put all 4 of them up there, so they are on there good and tight. Now I did run out of washers, so I got to go back to the store and go get some washers, but we're gonna have them up there enough so you can see it done. Anyway, come on down underneath and I'll show you exactly what it looks like and a couple tips and tricks and all that type of stuff. So let's go. All right, so now we are underneath the truck and I've got my jack stands holding everything up exactly where I want it. Now, if you look over here, I use the pitch weld or the body line to actually judge where I want to have it. And I actually stuck a piece of wood in there just to keep it even all the way across. I did the calibrated eyeball as well. And it's right where I want it to be. Now, you want to leave a couple of inches for flex in case you hit a rock or something like that really hard. We don't want to flex it up into the body. So just leave a little bit there. Make sure your door's open, all that good stuff, so you're good to go. Anyway, so as you can see, I have my brackets, got my 2 bolts there, got my 1 bolt there, and I went ahead and ground down the area that I'm going to be welding on. And then once everything is done, I'm going to pull the bolts off, pull it off, and then weld it for good. I'm not sure how some of them do it, but they do it one-handed. I'm not that good because this creeper sucks. Anyway, so I got it notched, so that's going to go up here. Make sure your steel is clean, even though I just painted it, but it's okay. There you go. All right, now it is on. So I was able to get it in there, still keep my distance. These are about 8 1/4, depending on where it's at on the frame, because sometimes the frame is kicked out, some of it's kicked in. I would have to say it is nice to work on a frame that has not been beat up off-road for years and years and years, so this is pretty decent. So what I'm gonna do is actually grab a magnet. All right, these magnets are your friend. You should always have them around. All right, so magnets are your friend. Trying to center it up as best you can. There's another magnet. There we go. Look at that. It's gonna be beautiful. Maybe. All right. All right, everything is all set up. It is actually square with the other tube. Use my magnet as the square. Throw some big fat tacks on there and make sure it doesn't come off, and then pull it off and weld it all the way around. Yeah. Let me get the welder. Should have got the welder already. I didn't do it. That sucks. All right, let's get the welder and get it on there. All right, got the welder out. Make sure my tip is nice and clean. Turn your gas on. Make sure she's set up right. And lay down some fat tacks. All right, the first kicker's in. You can see it there. I was having some welder issues, but it's in there okay. I got some fat tacks on there, so once I take it off, it should stay. I did run into a problem. I did have to lower it down 1 notch on the jack stands, only because that right there was actually touching, and you don't want that to touch, because like I said, it's going to flex, and if it flexes, it's going to hit your pinch weld and then mess up your body. And we don't want to do that. That's the reason why you have these things, to protect it. Anyway, I'm going to get the other 3 done, and then we're going to come back, put some gussets on there, pull it all the way off, and then weld the whole thing, and then paint it, and then stick it back on. Yeah. All right, let's go. All right, the rest of it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be, but all 4 kickers are on there. I still got to put some gussets and actually pull it off and actually fully weld it. Unfortunately, I got the big door open and the wind kept coming in and blowing away all my gas. I was getting kind of annoyed. But we'll grind those down and actually put some good weld on it. We'll put it on the table all the way around. It's kind of crazy. I just got a report 10, 20 miles down the road. It's already snowing. It was 70 yesterday, and today it's snowing. It's going to be nuts. So anyway, I want to pull this thing off, put it on the bench, and then get it welded. All right, the paint has dried. It is actually installed, and I'm gonna go ahead and show you exactly what the finished outcome product would be if you put these on the way that I did. So anyway, pardon the mess. I still need to clean up. I do have some people coming over this weekend. I gotta get it cleaned up. We're gonna have a wrench day for the club. So anyway, let's crawl underneath and show you how we hook these up. All right, as you can see, it is attached to the frame. I have some 1/2 inch grade 8s, 2 on the top, 1 on the bottom, and I got it 4 locations. All right, so if you look underneath on the back, I just made a giant backing plate, put a washer, lock washer, and then the nut, and then I just put a regular washer and a nut on that side. Anyway, that is all the way through to the back. Now in here I had to take this panel off and reach my arm way up there to be able to get those things nice and tight. All right, so that's pretty much concludes the project of putting rock sliders on the Tacoma. Now the design and actually the implementation of the design, you can put it on just about anything. You just got to make your measurements. I do like having the bend on the bottom that actually will attach it to the bottom of the frame as well as to the side. I didn't do that on the Wagoneer, but I kind of like it better on this one. And it wasn't that big of a deal to hammer them over. That actually worked out pretty well. I was able to hide a lot of those hammer marks. But anyway, check out some other stuff. We got a lift on this thing. I'm not sure when that's going to come out, but it might be out before this one does. But we put a 3.5 inch lift. We just need some tires. We still got bumpers. We still got a bunch of other things to do to this thing. So stay tuned. Go ahead and subscribe. Like these videos. That definitely helps us out, and then it actually gets us a little bit more suggested by YouTube. So anyway, yeah, hit the comments. Let me know what you think. What should be the next step in the evolution of this Tacoma, or the Wagoneer, or the CJ, or whatever. And let me know what you want to see. And then we'll try to oblige. So anyway, take it easy, have fun, be safe, and keep tinkering. Later.